Alhamdulillah, with the Malaysian government, I mean, we have been quite consistent in since the occupation. Malaysia is always unwavering support, and therefore, with the present government, which is led by Anwar Ibrahim, and because of my personal contact, and also we have been in ABIM, the Muslim Youth Movement. So I'm able to have that access to really discuss on how we can synergize the initiatives between the NGOs like myself and also with the government. The process goes like this. Um, the government is also having its own initiative to have a fund that is managed by the government, and it is quite a significant value of what they have collected. But when it comes to sending the aid with that money and with buying things and you know sending it through air cargo, that's something else that the government really needs to synergize or work together with the NGOs. So what we did was we had a meeting with the officers that have been mandated by the Prime Minister, and we discussed thoroughly on how we're going to get this thing in and how do we distribute this aid. So there was a coordination done. We call it the Ops Ehsan project, and there are numbers of NGOs in that project, and the money is been given to us. Some we collected on our own from crowdfunding, but that's how we decided between the government and the organization to work together. Now, the number of ministries that are directly involved in this operation, quite a number. We start with the Prime Minister's office himself, and then we have the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health. We are working also with the Ministry of Human Resource, also Ministry of Works, Public Works. So there are a list of um, ministries. We are sitting down and we are framing the mechanism of how we can send the aid inside. But more so, we are planning for what we call the post-war rebuilding of Gaza. Now, we have organized a conference. Alhamdulillah, about 26 countries came, and we presented the situation that is now currently facing the Gazan people. And from there, with that discussion, we went into clustering the kind of aid that we want to channel from education to health and everything else. So that rebuilding Gaza post-war conference was a successful thing. It was supported by the government, and they liked the way that we did it. That we are very clear on the objectives. We are very clear on what to do, how to do it, and how do we implement it. Now, the tricky part of this effort is that we still are waiting for how do we deal with the authority who will be in charge in Gaza. You know very well of this Hamas and Fatah and everything. So we need to make it very clear. How do we, plan this with the knowledge and with the also information, the data that they have on the situation in Gaza. So we are MAPIM. On our side, we had a special letter that was sent to us, agreeing that MAPIM is one of the principal organization that will conduct this rebuilding process, and once the window is open, once the gate is open, we should be able to deal with authorities and decide where, when, and what would be the scale of the rebuilding that we're going to embark. So All this are been discussed with the government. The government has always wanted us to update, and I'm being given the honor of being the advisor of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I communicate with them, the ministry, very closely, and they will then facilitate anything that can help the process of this humanitarian mission that we have decided. That's how we work with the government.
Well, Alhamdulillah, in fact, it's very, very encouraging to see that, the government has taken this to heart and being dealt with in the highest corridors of power, Alhamdulillah. And I think also for us here in South Africa, we have had a fair amount of support, in fact, great support from the government. And we're all aware it's no hidden secret now with regard to the ICJ case as well, where South Africa obviously had led this legal action at the International Court of Justice. So, alhamdulillah, it's always great, it's wonderful to have that level of support. But also looking at this international post-war Gaza rebuilding planning session that was held. Now, I've had a look. In fact, the report was sent to me as well. Very, very comprehensive. I must say, comprehensively dealt with in each and every aspect. So there's just so much information in this report. There is just so much detail in this report, and basically, it's a plan that at the end of the day will come to fruition. And I hope that plan comes to fruition very, very soon, once you have dealt with all the challenges.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the challenge is huge. One is to really, if there's at least a pause or a ceasefire, that even to that level, even is a temporary, still that will give us the space to really, implement this rebuilding. Now, the point that I want to probably share with you also is that, as I said just now, before when we were in 2008, 2009, we had a mission during that war. We were quite impressed by the authorities in Gaza. They are quite well managed in the sense that they have a majlis of sort where any help that comes will be vetted and they will advise which place that this project can be done, and and they don't want any part of Gaza to be left out. So that coordination, that understanding is very helpful for us to even to understand the situation. Now, again, when you mentioned just now that the challenges is huge, and we are indeed very the Gaza and even the whole Muslims are indebted to South Africa for taking that courageous move to ICJ, and it created that repercussion of more and more countries coming on board and putting up pressure on the ICJ, and the ICC also sat down, and there were some things that is moving, although on the ground things looks even it is worsening, but the fact that there is this move both on the ground where we are thinking about this rebuilding and attending to the immediate needs, and also trying to plan for a midterm and long term kind of plans that we want to do. But on the advocacy side, on trying to put out the pressure that Israel must be forced to submit to the decisions of international community, that has to be very strong. The advocacy is a very challenging angle of our work. That there's no way that we can do it singly. It has to be a combination of countries, of organizations, and we have to strategize how to um, you know, increase the pressure. But another thing that probably I would like to share is that um, we are also engaging with an effort. I think you might have this information. There's this flotilla that's been thought of, another round of flotilla, and we are talking to the Indonesian counterpart and also Pakistan and Turkey. These are the three countries we are talking whether we can actually organize another flotilla using the Mediterranean Sea. So that is also another effort that we are doing so that more and more attention and more tangible things that we can do that can help to ease the situation in Gaza.